Hi my lovely people, welcome back to another fragrance video. In this video, I'm going to share with you 20 fragrances that are perfect to wear to the office or any kind of formal daytime occasion in the spring and summer. These are fragrances that are crowd pleasers, they are inoffensive, but they're also very beautiful, so they make a statement as well. And these are also fragrances that are signature worthy. So some people are fully back to work. They are in the office working in person, and some people are having a hybrid deal where you work, from home and you go into the office some days. That's the case with me. I go into the office certain days and I work from home other days. Most of us have returned to work. So I thought it would be the perfect time to talk about fragrances that are perfect to wear to work. So if you want to see what my picks are for spring and summer to wear to the office, fragrances that are sophisticated, classy, beautiful, but inoffensive, just keep watching. So you guys, before I get started with the video, I have two announcements to make. One is that there's been a family emergency that we have to be there for. So I will probably not be able to upload my video either on Thursday or Sunday. I'm not sure. There'll definitely be one video this week, but that's probably it. So I will not upload 3 videos this week. It'll rather be just one video. I will share with you all later the video that I post on Mother's Day or right before or after Mother's Day. So that's the first announcement. And second announcement is that one of you asked me about my selection process for the giveaways. I use a random name picker online because it's so hard for me to pick a winner, because I want to give you all the giveaway. If I had a way to do it, I would give you all the giveaway, but I have to select one winner and I find it to be very difficult, so I use a random online name picker. And when I do it, now when I have an overwhelming response to a giveaway, I have like so many names that it's hard to even enter into the wheel. It's kind of like a Wheel of Fortune wheel, that it spins and picks the winner. What I do is I pick groups of people out of all the people that entered the giveaway. So the first group, I spin the wheel and then I pick the winner, set aside, and then I do the second group, third group, so on and so forth. So winners of each group I then pull together for the final round of the wheel. I just spin the wheel one last time with just the winners that won from each group. And then I spin the wheel again. I feel like it just sort of kind of, tells me the really deserving winner, like the person who has the most luck. I feel like if you won from the group and then you won the final round too, then you won twice. The universe is telling me you really need to win that giveaway. So that's kind of how I see it, so that's how I do my giveaways. Anyway, I have so many beautiful niche and designer fragrances that are perfect to wear to the office in spring and summer, so I want to share with you all of them. So let's jump right into them. I'm not going to do designer first and niche after. I'm just kind of going to mix it all together and I'll just pick whatever comes to my hands. I'm going to just tell you guys a little bit about the fragrance, so let's get started. So my first pick for a perfect, gorgeous spring fragrance period, but a fragrance that's perfect for the office or any formal daytime occasion, is a very kind of expensive fragrance. Actually, it's a niche fragrance. It's a new release from the House of Creed. You guessed it. This is Creed Windflowers. This one, you guys, is a perfect sort of inoffensive, very crowd-pleasing, beautiful white floral fragrance for spring. This is definitely a winner with everybody, really. I can't think of one person who would smell this and be like, oh, I hate this. This is like one of those crowd-pleasing, inoffensive, very fresh feeling fragrances, but still very substantial. It's got great performance, a good projection, sillage, lasting power, which you need, for the office, because you're there for like, 8 hours or more. So This is a fragrance that keeps you feeling fresh all day as well, which is very important when you pick a fragrance for the office, because you want to feel fresh and energized all day. So this is a fragrance that really energizes you throughout the day. This is a white floral dominant fragrance, has tuberose, jasmine, orange blossom, all that. A little bit powdery from like powdery floral notes like iris. This has got a juicy peach note that's really juicy and ripe in the opening. That's really delicious. But even if you're someone who doesn't like peach, I'm telling you, the peach in here is delicious. Very beautiful. And this is substantial because there is a praline note in the base that adds sweetness to this fragrance and a little bit of like substance, you know, like a little bit of, I wouldn't say density, because this is not a fragrance that is dense in any way, which is what really makes me so happy about this fragrance, because it has notes like praline, but it still manages to be very light, very airy, very fresh, you know, and all that. So it's a very nice composition. So the praline in here doesn't feel heavy like the praline you get in a lot of the fragrances, but it still gives this fragrance teeth, so to speak. This has like a big dose of musk. It's a very powdery, musky floral scent, which is perfect for springtime. Musky, powdery goes so well with the spring air, and you can wear this in the summertime as well. It's something that you can even wear in the heat, although there's like one more denser note like praline. It's very light still. I don't know how they did it. Probably just a little bit just to add sweetness, you know what I mean? Perfect fragrance for the office. Will keep you fresh all day. The only thing is it is very expensive, so some of you might not want to wear it to the office and go through it so fast, you know what I mean? But you know, save it for special days at the office or daytime formal functions. So yeah, this is Creed Windflowers. Next I have a fragrance that is a beautiful, very formal feeling, very sophisticated, definitely, you know, calls for a formal type occasion fragrance. In my hands, this is from the Dior Privé line. You guys know how much I adore the Dior Privé line. I love almost all of the Dior Privé line fragrances. This one is in particular is perfect actually for spring. This is a fragrance that gives you a little bit of a cozy feeling too, so this actually works in like the colder months as well. But this is a light enough fragrance that you can wear throughout the year. You can even wear this in spring and even summer. It's light enough, but there is a cozy feeling to this. I think this is more suitable for spring than summer. So this one is Christian Dior Gris Dior. This one, you guys, is the perfect quintessential office / formal fragrance. This is very sophisticated, very classy. There's something very kind of upper class, expensive, classy about this fragrance. It is not the most, I wouldn't say it's not the most girly, pretty kind of fragrance, but it is a fragrance that says, I'm sophisticated, I'm a woman, I know what I'm doing, I'm classy, and I'm very formal kind of thing, you know? So yeah, this has this beautiful, it's actually technically a rose fragrance. There's a rose note in here, but the way it's blended with other notes like moss, which, guys, don't be like looking down on fragrance notes like moss, because moss can be very kind of like, it can add this very like herbally sort of amazing scent to fragrances. In some fragrances, depending on the composition, musk can make fragrances very sexy, but depending on other compositions like this one, musk can give it like depth and sort of like formal flair or like sophistication, you know, even to fragrances. So that's what musk did in here. So this is a fragrance that has that earthy element, but it's not earthy like the way that patchouli is, although there is patchouli in this fragrance as well. It's not very offensive or noticeable in a like a heavy patchouli way. It's right there in that slight earthiness to the musk that is herbally, you know what I mean? So this is like a rosy, slightly herbally, slightly earthy, very woody fragrance. There's a sandalwood note in here that is so sensual, so good. I'm sure there are other woody notes as well, but sandalwood is perfect for this. And yeah, there's, I think, also cedar in this fragrance, and there's amber. Amber always is great. Amber adds a little bit of sweetness, not too much of sweetness, you know. It's just really perfect for this fragrance. Really love it for office wear or formal occasion. You can actually wear this fragrance like all year round. It's something like the Baccarat Rouge 540 that can be worn all year round, and it's very formal, you know what I'm saying? So this has that same thing going on. This is Dior Gris Dior. Next, I have one of my latest additions to my collection. I'm going to be wearing this quite a bit to the office. It is a fragrance, again, that you can wear all year round. This has a little bit of the Baccarat Rouge DNA, but I talked about this in my haul video that I just uploaded. I will link it up here and down in the description box. A lot of people compare this to Baccarat Rouge 540, but I gotta say, this one, the only similarity I see is it comes from the ambergris note that's in here, or ambroxan, which is the synthetic version of it. That's really what's giving this a little bit of the Baccarat Rouge 540 DNA. But other than that, you guys, this fragrance is quite different in my opinion. This should not be lumped together with Baccarat Rouge 540 at all. But this is perfect for the office because it's fresh. It keeps you fresh all day. It smells classy. It smells expensive. It demands attention in a very formal, I will be respected kind of way, you know. So yeah, this one is bond number 9, Greenwich Village. Now this is the latest addition to my collection. This is so pretty. It's very classy, sophisticated, expensive smelling fragrance. Yeah, this fragrance smells very sophisticated, classy, and expensive, you guys. If you want to smell rich, this is the fragrance for you. This one, like I said, has a big dose of ambroxan, or actually ambergris, I think is what this has. Ambergris kind of gives, and ambroxan give fragrances this sort of like lingering, lasting sillage, especially ambroxan. I think is it ambergris or ambroxan that's in here, but anyway, you know, but that's not the only thing that it doesn't define this fragrance per se, because this has some other gorgeous notes like water lily. I absolutely love the fact that this has the water lily note, because water lily has this beautiful delicate scent. I don't know if you guys have ever smelled a water lily. Where I come from, there are lots of water lilies. This also has other delicate florals like peony, which is so pretty. Very nice fragrance note. And then there's jasmine. There are other beautiful florals in here. There's that ambergris, like I said, and there is a very beautiful lychee note in the opening of this fragrance. But lychee is not very distinct in this fragrance like it is in Parfums de Marly Delina. You know how that one you can really smell the lychee. The lychee is not front and center in the opening in this fragrance, but it adds that beautiful fruitiness to this fragrance. There are some citrus notes like mandarin orange too. There's a slight hint of green from the cassis, which is the leaves of the blackcurrant. I believe there's something sweet in here too. It's not too sweet. It's like slightly sweet, you know. I would say sweeter than Baccarat Rouge 540, which is not really sweet, you know what I mean. Beautiful fragrance for the office. Again, this is more of an expensive fragrance, so if you don't want to wear this like to the office very often, you can save it for like daytime formal occasions and, you know, special days in the office where you really want to command attention, you know what I mean, in a formal, you know, professional manner. This would be the fragrance. This is bond number 9, Greenwich Village. Speaking of Baccarat Rouge 540, of course, I recommend both Baccarat Rouge 540 and Baccarat Rouge 540 Extrait de Parfum. I left my Baccarat Rouge up there and I don't feel like going up there to grab it, apparently. So, you know, this one and its sister, the original, definitely perfect for the office. Again, these are expensive fragrances. If you don't feel like wearing it on a daily basis, save them for a special occasion at work or any other formal affair during the day. You can wear this in the evening too, to command attention. If you want like if you want to command attention in a kind of professional way, this would be a great fragrance. Again, this, you know, kind of has that Baccarat Rouge DNA from the Ambroxan, the ambergris actually. So yeah, that's what you smell. There's saffron in here. I believe in both you get the saffron, the original, and this one. There's jasmine, although in this one jasmine is a little stronger. This one is slightly sweeter, if I want to even say that. You can't really say they're sweet because they're not really sweet, but there's something that resembles sweetness in here. This of course is very, very woody as well, because that ambergris has a sort of a woody aspect as well that goes really well with the other woody notes that are in here. I believe there's cedar or something in here. There's a lot of musk in here. The difference between this and the original, I talked about the difference between this and the original in my Maison Francis Kurkdjian collection video. I'll link it up here and down in the description box. But this one has bitter almonds, and that's a little bit, you know, more prominent, but it doesn't smell kind of nutty at all, but it smells, has that little bit of like bitter almond vibe, you know what I mean? Again, great perfumes, this and the original for the office. This one is Maison Francis Kurkdjian Baccarat Rouge 540 Extrait de Parfum, and of course the original as well. So I have a designer fragrance in my hands from one of my favorite designer lines and houses. This is from Giorgio Armani, you guessed it. It's a Saab fragrance from the Saab perfume line. This is the latest release from the Ceylon. This one is Saab Passion Eclat. This one, you guys, is a gorgeous, gorgeous spring and summer scent, especially great for springtime. This smells very sophisticated. This is a mainly rose dominant fragrance, but the rose isn't very rosy, if that even makes sense when I say that, because the rose is very well blended with the musk, the heavy dose of musk in here. So it's a very beautiful, very like interesting rose that's in here mixed with that musk. The musk makes it very like classy, you know, kind of edgy, sophisticated, and you know, musk can even make fragrances very sexy, but this one isn't sexy in that way. This is very kind of like sophisticated smelling fragrance. Again, this is one that's quite aromatic, and it actually is quite fresh too. There's a good citrus element in here, and this is a fragrance that will, you know, you will keep getting whiffs of throughout the day, that will keep you feeling fresh throughout the day, feeling formal, fabulous, and you know, professional and classy. This of course has the DNA, the cDNA, which comes from that blackcurrant note in the opening that is like the constant throughout the sea fragrances. So there's that juicy blackcurrant in the opening, although the blackcurrant in this one particular one isn't as strong as it is in the other sea fragrances, some of the other sea fragrances. This has some citrus in it, and then this has a rose de maille, which is a very expensive rose. There's damask rose too, I believe, and a huge dose of musk and a big dose of vanilla, which makes it so yummy. This is again a fragrance that smells very good throughout the day. Good performance, projection, sillage, lasting power is great. I would say 7-8 hours. It is a good investment considering how it's a designer fragrance that's not too terribly expensive but smells very sophisticated and very good. So yeah, this one is Giorgio Armani Saab Passion Eclat. So the next fragrance is from a niche fragrance house that's, you know, really making their mark in the industry. This fragrance, when it first came out, when I first sniffed it, you know, I didn't really understand it very well when I first sprayed it. It just smelled to me like another white floral fragrance, but as time went on, I really started to really appreciate this fragrance. It is a very inoffensive, beautiful white floral fragrance, predominantly white floral fragrance that's very crowd pleasing. It's a spring and summer fragrance. This one is Ali Deja Vu White Floral 57. Now this fragrance, you guys, like I said, at first I didn't quite appreciate it as much as it should be appreciated, you know what I mean? It's a beautiful fragrance. It's not your, you know, like, oh, just another white floral fragrance. There's something very special about it. There's something very like juicy and sweet in here as well. I think it comes from the juicy fruity notes that are in here. I believe there's like either peach or nectar in here, something in here. There's definitely pear, I know, in here. And this has a slew of beautiful white florals like gardenia, tuberose, orange blossom, jasmine, which are all my favorite white florals. I mean, together they smell just so fantastic. This also has a heavy dose of vanilla that adds to the sweetness of this fragrance. There's sandalwood with that sensuality. There's a little bit of patchouli. You can't even detect. It's just there, giving it like lasting power. You know, it's not very like prominent in there. And I believe there's also cashmere wood in here. So yeah, this fragrance is just absolutely beautiful. Very, very, very pretty, inoffensive. It's still attention grabbing fragrance that would be perfect to wear to the office in the spring and summer, or daytime, any occasion really. And it works for formal occasions as well. This one is Ali Deja Vu White Floral 57. Next in my hand, I have another a little bit expensive designer fragrance, but this one is worth every penny. Let me tell you, every penny. This one is a huge compliment getter. I wear this to work and I get compliments every time. It keeps you feeling fresh all day. There's a fresh element to this fragrance, which is again very important for office in my opinion, because you're like sitting there like working and sweating, you know, whatever. So you just like sitting there in the office all day can get really like stuffy, you know what I mean? So you want something that makes you feel rejuvenated and fresh and energized. So this is definitely one of those fragrances. This one is Baccarat Rouge from Louis Vuitton. You guys, this fragrance is one of my all-time favorite fragrances, I gotta say. It is such a unique blend, a unique composition, because this is again like that one fragrance, what was it? The Windflowers, right? These two kind of like have that gourmet note in there that is supposed to be dense, but it isn't. So this one actually has a little bit of cacao powder, I think, in here, that you just, you know, it's just there adding deliciousness to the fragrance, but not density, you know, not, it doesn't make it dense. It keeps it, somehow the fragrance is still very light, very fresh. There are a lot of fresh notes in here in this fragrance. It's a very rosy, fresh, kind of fruity, a little bit almost tropical type fragrance. This has that delicious fruity note, lychee in the opening, which is so yummy. I love lychee. It's a fruity note that makes fragrances smell not just fruity but also fresh. It's just something very juicy about lychee. I love lychee in the opening of fragrances. There is like citruses in the opening. There's ginger, which adds a beautiful zing to this fragrance. You know how ginger makes fragrances smell amazing. There's of course that rose, and there's peony. There's a little bit of cacao and a very tiny hint of patchouli that you can't really detect. It's very well blended. If you're someone who doesn't like patchouli, don't you worry. It doesn't smell like patchouli at all. It's hard to believe that patchouli is even in here. You can't really smell it. It's really well blended. What you smell are those fruity notes, the freshness from the citruses, you know, the delicious sweetness from the cacao, that slight gourmet touch, the rose, you know. It's a gorgeous fragrance. It's a very classy, expensive smelling fragrance that, you know, would command some attention in a very kind of I'm upper class kind of way, you know. So yeah, this one is Baccarat Rouge by Louis Vuitton. So I have another beautiful white floral scent that is so beautiful, very feminine, super gorgeous, inoffensive, but will still get attention in a very positive kind of way, you know. And it is just pretty without being, you know, like too much, you know what I mean? It's very pretty, just in a very pretty way. This fragrance smells amazing. This is from, again, one of my favorite fragrance houses. It's from Raja Perfumes. This one is Raja Scandal Essence de Parfum. This one, you guys, there's of course the more expensive line of Scandal as well, Raja Parfum Scandal, but this one still is so good. I mean, it still lasts on my skin about 5 hours. You know, it's not bad, 5-6 hours, which is, you know, fine for work. This one smells very pretty. It's a white floral fragrance through and through, very kind of like animalic white floral fragrance, but very inoffensive, very soft. This has all the beautiful white florals imaginable under the sun. There's gardenia, tuberose, jasmine, orange blossom, and even lily of the valley, which I love. And this has a little hint of rose as well. It's a very pretty white floral fragrance. The white florals are the main notes, you know, that's what you smell the most. And you get a huge dose of musk, little bit of sandalwood, and orris, which is a powdery note. So this is a bit powdery. Yeah, it is a very inoffensive, very pretty fragrance, again, that you will keep getting whiffs of throughout the day while you're working, keep you feeling fresh and nice all day. It has a classy element to it, very kind of like formal, sophisticated, upper class element to it. So yeah, this is perfect for office wear in spring and summer. This one definitely is a daytime wear fragrance, and you know, decent performance, 5-6 hours, and if you spray on clothes, even longer. This one is Raja Parfum Scandale Essence de Parfum. So in my hands, I have the quintessential classy formal fragrance. This fragrance house is known for making beautiful vintage smelling, very expensive smelling, sophisticated, classy fragrances. And you know, it's known for its DNA, you know, that's its DNA. This is of course Chanel. I have in my hands the perfect office fragrance. This one is Chanel Coco Mademoiselle Intense. This one, you guys, is that quintessential perfect classy smelling fragrance. You know, this has that classy vintage Chanel DNA, which you're all familiar with. This really is an office fragrance. I mean, that's really the only place I wear it to. It's a perfect classy perfume for the office. You can wear it to any daytime occasion, function. You can even wear it nighttime if you want, the Intense especially. It has, of course, lots of citrus. Yes, this has patchouli and it is prominent, but it's a very beautiful sort of classy, slightly earthy patchouli that's not kind of like, you know, like that dirty smelling patchouli, you know what I mean? There's something, it's kind of like, you know how in Gris Dior, the patchouli smells in Gris Dior, it's kind of like that, but not. Gris Dior is not, you know, the patchouli there is not as strong. The patchouli in here is strong, but it adds to that classiness, you know, like it adds to it that strength. But if you really hate patchouli, then I wouldn't recommend it, because you do smell the patchouli, but it's not that dirty, earthy patchouli, you know what I mean? So this is a little bit like ambery. There's definitely amber in here, which makes it nice and like classy and perfect. Like it gives it substance, you know. Amber has a little bit of sweetness, but not too much sweetness. This opens with loads of citruses like mandarin orange, bergamot, lots of citruses, which makes it nice and fresh. It has jasmine, rose, and then has some fruity notes that are not that prominent in here. Some does not smell fruity really at all. It's just they're sort of supporting the florals in here, I would say. And then this has a good dose of vanilla and a little bit of tonka bean too. There again, it's not like very like strong kind of vanilla accord that's in here. This has a little bit of labdanum, which gives it a little slight like hint of a leather accord to it, but it's not, again, oh, leather, you know, like no, you can't smell leather, no, not at all. But you know what labdanum is? It just gives that, has a little bit of that like aspect, leather aspect, but it's there adding like sort of expensive smell to the fragrance, really, at the end of the day. And then it has a good dose of musk as well. So yeah, this is the quintessential office fragrance. It smells very classy, very beautiful, upper class, sophisticated, you know, the Chanel DNA. Chanel Coco Mademoiselle Intense. I have another perfect spring fragrance that is so pretty. This is, again, very crowd pleasing. Everybody loves this fragrance. I can't think of anybody who would hate it. It's inoffensive, even if you had like colleagues at work who, you know, can't stand perfume, you know, they get headaches or whatever. This is, none of these will be fragrances that give you like headaches. Maybe with the exception of Coco Mademoiselle, can be a little bit much if you overspray. But everything else is very soft fragrances. Just go light on the Mademoiselle, because that one is you know, can be a beast. You know, don't overspray. It does last for a long time. But this one right here, again, beautiful crowd pleaser. Everybody loves this. It's one of those fragrances, white floral fragrances, that will keep you feeling fresh all day. Perfect for office wear. This one is Diptyque Dosa. So this one, you guys, is the EDP. This is a beautiful tuberose dominant, very creamy, very slightly bubblegummy, you know, like that natural tuberose is gorgeous. White floral fragrance. It's of course slightly animalic because of the white florals. A bit powdery. It has a huge dose of tuberose with other white florals. I'm sure jasmine and a few other white florals. A big dose of musk that makes it very, like, you know, edgy. You know, it smells very good. There's pink pepper, which is really nice for your brain, like especially working in the office. It gives you like happy feelings, you know. It's a bubbly, soft, spicy notes, pink pepper. It's just a beautiful fragrance. Crowd pleaser, lasts all day, good performance, keeps you feeling fresh, would be perfect for office wear in spring and summer, daytime wear. This one is Diptyque Dosa EDP. Next, I have a couple of gorgeous Dior Privé line fragrances. These I absolutely adore. These are quintessential spring summer fragrances, and they are huge crowd pleasers. Everybody loves them. They're like those pretty scents, you know, nobody can hate. So the first one is a gorgeous fruity fragrance that I absolutely fell in love with. This one is Christian Dior Rouge Trafalgar. You guys, I talked about this in a couple of my videos. Check them out. I will link them up here and down in the description box. This one is a beautiful fruity springtime fragrance that will be perfect for the office. This one is a gorgeous fruity scent that would keep you feeling fresh and amazing all day, and it lasts for a good long time, about 8 hours, you know, and if you spray on clothes as well. It's such a pretty scent. It's fresh as well. It's fruity. There are some gorgeous berry notes, strawberry, raspberry. Those are what makes it so delicious. But somehow the raspberry and strawberry notes in here, you guys, are more delicious than other, you know, notes that I've smelled in other compositions. Probably because there's a little bit of cherry too in the opening that adds to those beautiful berries. It smells absolutely stunning, you guys. It has a little bit of mandarin orange, which is the perfect citrus to go with those berry fruity notes. And then of course there is that juicy blackcurrant that adds that juicy burst of fruity freshness. There's some citruses in here, I think like grapefruit maybe. And then a big dose of musk and a little bit of patchouli. Again, the patchouli in here is almost undetectable. There's no earthiness that you can actually detect. It's not earthy at all. The patchouli is like so well blended, so you can't even smell it's there. So yeah, I mean, if you are like a patchouli hater, you know, you will still absolutely love this fragrance. It's got great performance too for a fruity fresh fragrance. Again, amazing for office wear in spring and summer. I'll be wearing this quite a bit. I just recently purchased this. This one is Dior Rouge Trafalgar. I have another gorgeous Peony dominant fragrance in my hands, again from the Dior Privé line. This one is so pretty. It's one of those pretty girl scents, you know. It's very kind of inoffensive, very pretty, very like just beautiful fragrance. This one is Christian Dior Holy Peony, you guys. This is my latest purchase from the Dior Privé line, latest addition to my Dior Privé collection. This is definitely peony dominant through and through. There's a little bit of rose in there too. Whenever there's peony, there's a little bit of rose. Usually they really complement each other well. Beautiful fragrance, very peony dominant. If you've smelled peony, it's a very soft, beautiful floral. You know, it's pink. It's just so pretty. This one is a very fresh fragrance, you guys. It's a rosy floral fragrance, very peony dominant, but very fresh as well. And there's a little slight hint of citrus. There's some, you know, hint of greenness to it too, which adds to that fresh feeling. It's, you know, a little bit powdery. In addition to the peony rose, this has some beautiful like fruit notes. I think like strawberry or raspberry or both in here as well, but they're not very dominant like they're in the Rouge Trafalgar. It's the peony that's the star in this show. And there is a good dose of musk, a little hint of greenness that's there, just adding to freshness, and some woody notes. It's a gorgeous, beautiful, pretty floral fragrance that will keep you feeling, you know, fresh and rejuvenated all throughout the day and feeling pretty and sort of confident, you know. So yeah, this one is Holy Peony by Christian Dior. Next, I have a very kind of a fragrance that is gonna make you feel very confident, like a powerful, confident woman. But this is Inoffensive, although it has like a fragrance note that usually some people don't like, but still this composition smells very beautiful. I have never heard anybody say anything bad about this fragrance, really. It is a very bright, sunny fragrance because of the aldehydes in here. You probably guessed it. This one is Kilian Woman in Gold. It is one of those fragrances that make you feel really confident, you know. Makes you feel just really confident. That's the best way to put it. Aldehydic fragrance. It's aldehyde dominant. It's got a very good dose of vanilla and some citruses too. It's a bit of a bright fragrance. It gives you happy thoughts, which you really need in the workplace, you know. When you're working all the time, like it keeps you feeling confident and bright and happy and energized. It's a fragrance that makes you feel very energized. So that's why I picked this one. Great for spring and summer, throughout the spring and summer daytime wear, but it is a strong enough fragrance that you can wear at night as well. It's got some rose and geranium, which usually go well together, some woody notes. Like I said, there's a good dose of vanilla from the vanilla and tonka bean, and a little bit of patchouli you can't even detect. Perfect fragrance to make you feel confident, ready to tackle your professional endeavors, you know what I mean? It commands attention in a I'm a powerful woman kind of way. This one is Kilian Woman in Gold. Next I have another beautiful tuberose white floral fragrance. Very inoffensive, another pretty girl scent that's very inoffensive, but yet will get attention in a very nice, positive way. This is a fragrance that even if you had people at work who get headaches from fragrances, this wouldn't give them a headache. It's very pretty, light, soft, pretty fragrance. This one is Giorgio Armani My Way, and I also have the Intense here, My Way on Tons. They're both perfect. This one is a tuberose dominant, very pretty, slightly bubblegummy scent. This has got some citruses and some vanilla. It's basically tuberose, jasmine, some citruses, vanilla, a little bit of musk and woody notes. Beautiful, inoffensive fragrance. It'll keep you feeling fresh and sort of energized all day long. This is Giorgio Armani My Way and My Way on Tons. This one is a little bit different, but they're pretty similar. So next I have a pretty sweet vanilla dominant fragrance that has prominent yellow white florals in here. That's actually perfect for spring and summer. So if you want a vanilla fragrance for work, you know, in spring and summer, or forget work, like period, during daytime, this would even be good for actually even a vacation. But this is a very inoffensive, crowd pleasing fragrance. This is why I picked it. This is Emikolov Ylang in Gold. You guys, this one smells so beautiful. It's vanilla dominant, but it's very sweet and vanilla dominant, but it has that beautiful ylang note in there that makes it kind of, you know, a little bit tropically, you know, gives it a little bit of like that feeling, like summer feeling, you know. So it's actually a vanilla that's a summertime vanilla, you know what I mean? So this has got loads of fruity notes. There's exotic fruity notes. There's even lychee, I think, in here as well. Like I said, there's that ylang. I think there's lily of the valley. There's a little bit of rose, some really pretty florals, but the ylang is very prominent with that. I think lily of the valley too that I smell the most in here. The rose not so prominent, and this has a little bit of coconut with that vanilla in the base, which makes it very kind of tropical, you know, like ylang and the coconut in here. And then it has a nice dose of musk, very much a crowd pleaser. A little bit more expensive, not too expensive. I think it's like $200 some. But anyway, it is a great fragrance for daytime wear in summer, spring and summer. Great for the office as well. It'll keep you feeling really nice, you know, kind of like, you know, that tropical feeling with the vanilla. Yeah, this one is Ylang in Gold by Emikolov. By the way, if you want a 10% off of all Emikolov fragrances, I have a 10% off discount code down in the description box, and they are offering free shipping to the US, you guys. This one is harder to find anywhere else. So yeah, I would get this on Emikolov website if you want it. This one is Ylang in Gold by Emikolov. So next I have a very fresh fragrance that will keep you super fresh all throughout the day. It is from a very nice, unique fragrance house. It is Ita Libra d'Orange. This one is Yes I Do right here. It is a fragrance that's perfect for spring and summer, especially I would say spring, but also summer. It's a very fresh fragrance, you guys. It's musky, it's fresh, and it's a white floral dominant fragrance. There's a little bit of green in there. Did you see a theme here? You know, like that sort of fragrance for work is perfect. And there's something really bright and sunny about this fragrance, which is why I picked it for office wear. It's got a little bit of aldehydes that make it very bright and happy. And it has, with the white florals, this blend, the aldehyde blend is super gorgeous in this fragrance, you guys. It makes you feel fresh and happy and bright. And what else do you need for work, right? You need to be energized all day, having good happy thoughts. Interestingly enough, just like the Louis Vuitton fragrance, this has a hint of cacao, but it's there without making it dense. You know, it's adding that delicious sort of sweetness, gourmet twist to it, but very much in the background, fully blended. You can't tell there's cacao in here at all. You can't really smell it. You smell that extra something in there, but you can't really quite put your finger on it. It's got some beautiful white florals like orange blossom, there's jasmine, and there's a little bit of marshmallow, you guys. It's like got that little soft gourmet hint in the base, which makes it super, super nice. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance. I really enjoy wearing it. Although it's fresh, you get whiffs of it throughout the time you wear this fragrance. Good performance, about 7-8 hours, especially if you spray on clothes. Really enjoy wearing this in spring and summer. It makes me feel really fresh and happy and just bright. And that soft gourmet hint makes it delicious too. By the way, if you want this fragrance, you can get it on Twisted Lily. I have a 10% discount code for you guys. I'll put it in the description box. Twisted Lily has really amazing niche fragrances, you guys, very rare, hard to find ones, and this brand is hard to get discounts on. I'll put that in the description box for you guys. You can get a 10% discount on Twisted Lily for this. This is Ita Libra d'Orange. Yes, I do. Next, I have a Jo Malone fragrance. It's my favorite Jo Malone fragrance to this day. It's really very unique, very, very unique, and I love wearing this to the office because it just keeps me sort of motivated and energized for some reason, because there's something very, very unique about this fragrance because of the poppy note in here. You guessed it. This one is Jo Malone Scarlet Poppy. This one is a vanilla dominant fragrance. It's very powdery, very beautifully, delicately powdery. It's a little bit sweet, a little bit fruity, but that poppy note in here really pops, you guys. The poppy note pops, you know. It just really gives this fragrance this uniqueness that I've never smelled in any other fragrance. So this has amberette, which again adds to that uniqueness. I think, in my opinion, it's very powdery with like orris and maybe like heliotrope, some powdery floral notes. There's a little bit of fig that adds to this, that deliciousness, and a little, like fig can be a little delicious, but also a little green, you know what I mean? And this has tonka bean in the base that adds that gorgeous deep sort of vanilla accord to this, but in a very like deep way. Tonka bean can be like a deeper vanilla. And this has a malt note in there, you guys, that adds again to that uniqueness. Have you ever smelled those malt powder drinks, but it doesn't smell like that. The perfume note malt smells different, but it adds that very interesting twist to it. Very inoffensive fragrance that everybody who smells it loves it. It smells sophisticated. Yeah, this one is Jo Malone Scarlet Poppy. I have in my hands a very elegant, super elegant, classy, gorgeous rose fragrance, but it's very different kind of rose fragrance, very spring and summer, very fresh, very light, very ethereal. This one is Penhaligons Elizabethan Rose. There's that Tudor rose seal right there. Isn't that crazy? Beautiful, very elegant looking bottle even. This fragrance, you guys, is just very unique. It's a rose that's very ethereal and light and airy and very spring and summer light. And it's gonna convey that I'm a classy, upper class, elegant woman kind of thing, which you want to portray at work. It's got a little bit of hazelnut, but you don't really smell that nuttiness, like in a nutty kind of like, oh, that's nutty. You know how Girl of Now smells nutty? Not like that at all. Very light and beautiful. It's also a very powdery and musky fragrance, which always is a great combo in this type of fragrance. Like I said, this has like hazelnut. There's also almond, but it's not like overwhelmingly nutty though, you know, like Girl of Now is very nutty. But I love Girl of Now too, but it's a different type of fragrance, you know what I mean? Like a going out kind of date night type fragrance. This one is very elegant. Although the nutty notes are there, they're not like overpowering. This has like several kinds of rose notes. I think Rose de Mai and other types of roses. There's white florals like jasmine. There's actually a red lily in here as well, I believe. I think there's geranium in here too. There's some juicy fruity notes like blackcurrant and plum that makes it juicy and fresh. There are beautiful powdery floral notes like violet in here that adds to the delicate sophistication of this fragrance. Actually, there's also orris, which is also a powdery note. And then there's a huge dose of musk and a little earthy hint from the vetiver, but it's a very light, very classy, very sophisticated, elegant, ethereal fragrance. Perfect to wear to work in spring and summer. This one's Penhaligons Elizabethan Rose. Last but not least, I have a beautiful, super beautiful floral fragrance that would be perfect for work. You'll feel fresh and like a goddess descended from the heavens. You know, this fragrance is so beautiful. It's just very, very like fresh feeling. It's a little bit of soapy as well, which again adds to that fresh feeling. It's a very beautiful, pretty girl sort of spring and summer fragrance. This one is Emikolov Ananda Nectar. Ananda is the bigger bottle. This is the Nectar version. This is again gorgeous fragrance. This has double doses of mimosa, which is a yellow floral with a little hint of soapiness. You know, there's loads of other white florals like jasmine. There's like I think there are powdery notes like violet in here too, which adds to the delicate sophistication of this fragrance. And then there's a little bit of, I think, like sandalwood too. So with the mimosa, this also has ylang, which adds to the beautiful yellow floral scent of this fragrance. This smells like you just stepped out of the shower, but you are this beautiful, pretty woman that's classy and sophisticated, you know what I mean? Perfect to keep you feeling fresh and confident throughout the day at work. This one is Emikolov Ananda Nectar. So that's it, you guys. Those are 20 amazing, inoffensive, crowd-pleasing, beautiful, sophisticated, classy, you know, elegant fragrances that are inoffensive, but very much attention, you know, demanding attention as well in a very positive way, which is what you want for work. So yeah, I got 20 of them, designer and niche, for you to wear in spring and summer to work or any kind of formal affair during the day. Most of them, some of them you can wear in the evening as well, but they are the quintessential perfect work fragrances, formal occasion fragrances. So let me know down in the comment section, what do you wear to work? What are your favorite formal / office fragrances? I would love to know. These are what I like to wear to work for the most part. That's what I wear all the time to work, actually. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Ring that notification bell so that you will never miss any of my videos. Ring the notification bell for all videos, otherwise you'll miss some or most. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram, where I post all my fabulous fragrances when I first buy them and everything else I do, beauty stuff, makeup, fashion, lifestyle, everything. I will see you in my next video.